Hey everybody, Steve Ritter here. It's day 2 of our meal, the steak and fettuccine Alfredo meal that I'm making for the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter. This is day 2. So today I'm going to make for you make for Mrs. Ritter and for me, but you get to watch a homemade Alfredo sauce. So my producer, the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter, we were gonna do a truly authentic Italian Alfredo, which is just butter and Parmesan cheese. And she was telling me, looking into it, that the Americans typically will use cream, heavy whipping cream, or whipping cream, as my kids always tease me saying. Anyway, that the Americans typically will use heavy whipping cream to kind of help it out a little bit, to give it that creaminess. We were gonna go with the authentic Italian, just butter and Parmesan cheese, but we were a little nervous about the creamy part. So we're gonna actually do the Americanized version of Alfredo sauce for our homemade linguine noodles that I did. Again, I think I got the link here. I'll put it up here, but link for the homemade noodles if you want to go check that out. So with my handy dandy pasta roller, which I'm in love with now. So I want to have noodles every day, but the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter says that's not a good idea. So she's probably right. Real simple. The ingredients and directions are down below. And on your way down there, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Hit the little bell so you know when we drop a new video. And we're over 171,000 subscribers now, and we're glad every one of you is with us. So I hope you enjoy these videos as much as I enjoy making them. And more importantly, I enjoy eating them. So I hope you enjoy what we make, these recipes. And I look at your comments, and I've seen some people with some different tweaks on things already. So with the linguine noodles, I already took some of your advice, and I'll show you. Come on, I'll show you. So this is not a pasta rack by any stretch of the wildest imagination, but this is the best I could come up with. I kind of MacGyvered it. So this is what we got here. So this is my homemade pot. Can you see it? Am I doing this right? Let me flip this around so I can see what oh yes, there it is. I took some string there and put it between 2 chairs, and I got my pasta drying a little bit, so hopefully it won't clump together when I cook it in the pot. Hopefully. So it didn't really last time, and it was with the spaghetti I made. So I'm letting it dry a little bit, so it'll help separate it. So I do see your comments and your suggestions and things too, and I appreciate it. Because really what I'm looking for is something easy and delicious, right? That's what I come about. So if I can make it, you can make it. So, I'm no professional chef or anything else. Although I've thought about maybe doing that since I'm kind of retired from the Air Force. Thought about taking some cooking classes and doing that because I enjoy cooking. And it's you just gotta not be afraid to fail. That's one thing Mom always kind of talked about. I mean, she wasn't afraid to fail, and certainly she made her fair share of mistakes, as we all do. But when you watch somebody like Gordon Ramsay or Bobby Flay or some of these guys on the channels, which I love those shows, and Master Chef and all those shows, I love watching that. You watch that and you get intimidated because you're like, oh man, how did they make it look so easy? Because they've done it so many times and they made mistakes aplenty. So the nice thing about cooking for yourself and trying it is you get to eat your mistakes unless they're really, really bad. That's always a risk, isn't it? So anyway, real simple. I've just got it's a stick of butter, some whipping cream, and Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper to taste. And we'll reset here, come back, and we'll kind of get the ball rolling here. So stand by we'll get right into it. All right, we're back. So I've got a pan here, just a saucepan, and the thing to do is half a cup of butter, which is one stick of butter. I'm going to put in here, and I'm going to put 1 cup of heavy whipping cream in with it. Pour it in, and then all I'm looking to do is warm this up. So I don't want to bring it to a boil or anything like that. I want to just warm this up pretty simple. This is Steve proof, this recipe. So really the only thing you can do is cook it too fast and scald the cream, which I will endeavor not to do. But we just got this on a low medium heat just to warm this up and melt this and warm the cream up. And once we get it warm, and you can probably hear in the background I got the water boiling for the noodles. We're going to warm this up and then we'll go on to our next step. So be right back. Stand by one. All right, so we're back. So the cream and butter has warmed up. We warmed it up. Now I've fired up my batch of homemade noodles. Now what I'm going to do is, this recipe calls for 2 cups of Parmesan. The first cup, freshly grated Parmesan cheese. This works a little better than the powder kind. Works a lot better than the powder kind. You're going to take 1 cup, go ahead and put it in. And what I want to do is go ahead and then take my warm. Now, one thing that I usually forget to do, and I did this time as well, salt and pepper to taste. After I turned the camera off last time, you can see the little flecks of black pepper. Just put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper on there. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in over the Parmesan cheese. Make sure I get all that goodness out of there. Mix this up. This is going to melt the Parmesan cheese. Okay, and it kind of thickens it up a little bit too, just a little bit. And then I'm going to take my noodles, which worked out probably a pound maybe of noodles. It's my usual mesh. I used my recipe from before with the noodles. I'm going to go ahead and just dump those in. And then I want to go ahead and kind of toss these in the sauce. Get them all good and mixed. That smells good. Get them all mixed in good. Now, if it's a little thin, like the sauce isn't sticking to the noodles, which it looks like here that it is, you can use a little bit of that pasta water. So that's why, again, remember when I talked about making the homemade noodles, pro tip is to save a little bit of the. That's what the Ravishing Mrs. Ritter taught me. Save a little bit of that. That'll help the gluten from the water. Will help the sauce to stick. So mixed in pretty good. You can see I'm still trying to figure out how to get these to keep from clumping. So my producer, Ravishing Mrs. Ritter, did her best to kind of pull some of these apart. So I'm still working on my technique for getting these noodles to work out right. I'm going to take the other cup of grated Parmesan cheese and go ahead and dump that in. Mix that in, and that's gonna do it. Boy, the magic is happening in front of your eyes as we speak right now. Now this is gonna go with steak that I'm just about to sear now, and that's the other video I did. So mix this in real good. That is homemade Alfredo. Now I'm gonna try this, because you gotta try it, right? Let me get myself a fork. Fresh fork, not used. And I'm gonna try this. Now this, again, with using the cream, help it out, the creaminess. But if you're have a problem with dairy, this is probably not going to do it for you. So you probably want to stay clear of this. There's a lot of dairy in this. So, here we go. I'm going to try this. I'm going to plate it up nice with the steak and all, but I wanted to just go ahead and try this. So here it is, the homemade Alfredo. And the homemade noodles. Oh, that's delicious. Now you can use salted butter, unsalted butter. Just keep them in mind when you salt to taste, because remember the butter. I use salted butter. I use maybe a quarter teaspoon of salt that I put in, just some fresh ground salt, the Himalayan pink salt. That's very tasty. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is the Colonel saying over and out. We'll see you next time.